All right, today is the day I'm going to attempt to start the long tube header install. These things have been sitting here forever, and like everything else, I already got new projects already planned. Found a deal on something to add to my gazebo and just couldn't pass up the deal, etc., etc., etc. So just another project to add to my list of stuff to do. I'm probably gonna be breaking this up over a couple days, maybe even a week. I'm beat. I was just working late last night on a project that I had to roll back, so I'm already kind of in a bad mood. But it's springtime. The weather's gonna start getting nice, and I want to start driving the car, and I wanted to make some noise. So we're gonna get the long tubes on here. Find out how it is working on the 4-post lift, what things I need to modify. I already know I'm going to need more light because there is no light under here. So I'm probably going to open up the garage door to get a little bit more light in here. And I have this big Milwaukee light that I can try and rig up on one of these pans, get some light in here. But lights next, some other things, but starting to work on this project is going to tell me where else I need to make modifications to the garage to get these jobs done. So like everything, a never-ending process. I'm going to have to get an air jack at some point. I'm not going to need it for this job, so that's why I can get this started now. So I'm going to get under here, I'm going to get some light, and we're going to figure out unbolting the mid pipe, and I'm actually going to have to cut a section of the mid pipe out, but let's get under here and I'll try and record as much as I can. But I want to get the project done, so this isn't going to be like an exhaustive install video. You guys have all seen headers installed before. At this point it's just going to be for entertainment purposes. So let me get situated, get some lights, and we'll go from there. Alright, so first I'm going to do is drop the mid pipe. Some of this stuff looks like it's already modified. This is a little weird the way this was double nutted here. I kind of always questioned if this pipe was OEM or not, and I'm not really sure. But most importantly, the ex-owner had somebody do this. I don't know, again, because the pipes were aftermarket, modified, what the hell, or if he was just blowing clamps off. But I'm not sure this pipe here is the original pipe. So I'm probably gonna cut these here and then see if I can grind off the welds maybe. Not exactly sure what I'm gonna do here, but I'm probably gonna cut these to start with and figure it out from there. Alright, I got the front bolts out at those flanges and at these clamps here. I can't really do nothing because I don't have wiggle room. So I'm going to cut here first just to get this pipe out of here. And then I'm going to kind of measure up to see where to cut there. I'm thinking the obvious place is to cut here or cut here. And then maybe see if I can cut off this piece to get back to the original over the axle pipe. But I don't know yet. So let me just cut these bullshit welds off and get this pipe dropped, and I'll give myself a little bit more room to see. So these resonators were holding so much water in them. I got a whole bunch of water dripping out the bottom. So if you've ever noticed, you should have weep holes in your resonators and the bottom of your stock mufflers. The reason why they do that is to avoid water buildup. So if you ever notice water puddles under your car when you're warming up in the morning, that is why, because all the water and stuff is coming out of those weep holes to avoid all the extra condensation. Alright, so these bolts are crooked as hell. So I'll probably have to bang these in to get these flanges off. The more I look at this, I really don't think This is fully OEM. I can't imagine GM would have made these this crooked. But this is exactly why I wanted to wait until I had the lift fully in place before dicking with this, because this is a pain in the ass to do on the floor rather than doing above your head. So I'll screw with this a little bit more and I'll come back when the pipe's down. All right, work smarter, not harder. Couldn't get those bolts out because they were so bent, so I just cut them. And that gives me the leeway that I need to get the pipe down. And smart me, I put the spring back in up there so the pipe didn't fall on me. All right, so that was a little dicey when it dropped, but I got the pipe down and I didn't realize how heavy it was going to be once it finally came loose. Now I understand why my mufflers were crooked and can never get right, because there's a lot of play and a lot of swing up here, and I have a feeling these things were angled down a good bit more than they probably should have been. So I'm gonna have to take this opportunity and probably get this pipe off to be able to cut this properly. I know these are usually a little bit of a bitch to get them back into the mufflers, but once I get everything mocked up, I'm gonna take this pipe out and get it to the point where I can cut it nicely. And yeah, I wonder, oh yeah, they cut off. They did such a shitty job. So yeah, they cut off on the stock Corsa pipe. So I may just leave it as is and just have a muffler guy make a nice connection for these things. But one piece down, a couple more to go. All right, so while I'm in here, I'm noticing I have some leak at the transmission diff area. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up and see if I can figure out where the fluid's coming from or where the seeping's coming from. I'm hoping it's just from somebody doing a fluid change some time ago, and it's just remnants, but I'll clean it up and kind of keep an eye on it. Fabulous Corvette design. Tuck these O2 sensors up in there so tightly. They almost have to get the downpipes off to get the O2 sensors off. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the bolts at the cats, drop the cats, and then I'll try and balance the pipes and get the O2 sensors off the pipes after I drop it. Downpipe or cat dropped a little bit. Now I have access to the O2 sensor to get it out. All right, it still wasn't easy. That thing was in there. Apparently that O2 sensor's never been out. If you guys don't have O2 sensor sockets, get them. Thank God I still had a floor jack, because I had to use the handle of the floor jack to get the to get enough leverage on this thing to break it loose. So one down, one to go. All right, so hopefully I didn't mangle these things up too bad. Twisting the wires, trying to get these things out. It's just kind of one of those things. The plug's high. This one's a little bit easier to get to, but the other one's kind of hidden up there pretty deep. But next step is to get the car down and get the headers loosened up and see if I can pull them out from the top. Probably is going to be where I want to go with this, but we shall see. It unlocks so much better now that I fixed those back locks. So if there's going to be any annoyances with the 4-post lift, this is probably where it's going to be at. So just because things are going to be a little bit tight here with the post, I should be able to get in here fine to get the headers. Other side will be a little bit tight, again, just because it's tight over there. But just got to take into account that you got a post right there and you're right up against a beam here. So go ahead and get the valve covers off, get the spark plugs out, and see if we can get to the bolts to drop the headers. Got the spark plug wires out. First time I've taken out spark plug wires in an LS. These are a little bit of a pain in the ass to get out, opposed to traditional spark plug wires. I'm sure there's a reason why they're like that, probably due to heat dissipation or something. But I don't know, they're a little bit of a pain in the butt to get out. So I got another upper O2 sensor to get out on the headers, and then I can take out the plugs and get the headers out. Now is one of those times I wish I had a air ratchet. So we're getting to get the 13mm head bolts out of the headers to try and slide them out. I'm probably gonna have to do them from the bottom now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, I wish I had an air ratchet now, because trying to do this by hand kind of sucks. I'm gonna see if I can get in there with a ratcheting wrench. It might make it a little easier. Alright, so I got almost all the bolts out on this side. There's one tucked away in the back I'm having a little bit of a hard time with, but I dropped my first socket into an unreachable place. So now we're going to test the true value of having a lift. And I go all the way back up, get underneath the car, reach into the cross member where the socket dropped, and pick it up. All right, you're gonna see one header on the floor, passenger side header. I got one more bolt in the back of the driver's side to get out that I have to get from underneath. That last bolt was a real pain in the ass. This one bolt took me probably a good half an hour, maybe a little bit more, dicking around. Up, down, up, down. I eventually got it, God, with a swivel on a 3/8 socket, and it's out. And I slid both the headers out. They're both on the floor. And this is where we're going to stop for the night, because I got better stuff to do with my evening. And I'm on like 2 hours of sleep right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get packed up, and we'll come back another day. Alright, questions I don't have answers to. Why you would put a $2,000 axle back system on your car and get some bubble gum ass welds like this. Look at this bullshit. Guys, if you have a nice car, don't do stupid shit like this. It is really annoying for the next person. So I got all the exhaust system off. That was the last piece. I got new over the axle pipes from Corsa directly. I actually got a new top. We'll get into that a little bit later. I got an extra top. And I actually got a new matching chair. I think I figured out why the dumbass before me had the pipes welded. So you're gonna notice a little bit different curvature right there. So I just got these new pipes directly from Corsa, gave them the model number of an LS3 Corvette, and told them I needed over axle pipes. I think these were, I don't know, 70 bucks a piece, maybe 60 bucks a piece, something like that. Got new clamps just in case. But if you look at the curvature, you're gonna see the curvature on the ends a little bit different. I bet he bought these mufflers for an LS2 Corvette, and the mid pipe was a little bit different, especially towards the back area, as I understand it. So that makes a little bit more sense why he had it welded. He's probably having a bit of a problem with the pipe staying connected, and again, he just took it to some podunk shop that did some nonsense like that instead of trying to make it look nice. Again, it's a $2,000 system. So yeah, let's go ahead, get these pipes fed up here. And again, so much easier with the lift. This literally took me like a minute to fish these out. So let me go ahead and feed these in, and we'll be back. All right, it is Saturday, the April 20th. I think it's like 2 weeks later after I pulled out the headers. You can see all the stock pipes over there. You see some new additions. I just got a new chair for underneath the lift. I got a little oil drain over there. This project's been taking longer than I'd like because I'm going in between projects. So I took like a week gap to get a bathroom remodel rehab kind of done. So that's almost done. Getting back to the car, the weather's getting nice. I want to get the headers fed in today and get everything done, hopefully. I got the mufflers back on. That was a fight, even with a lift. Starting to realize I need a second set of hands. So after going like DEFCON 1 rage, just wanted to push the car off of the lift and into the river. All right, probably not gonna go to get all this recorded because all my batteries are dead. This GoPro seems to have a constant problem with batteries dying. So I may end up getting a new camera during this process. But I got the O2 extensions, gonna go ahead and get the O2 extensions routed, and I'll feed in the driver's side header a while. So I got the top O2 sensor extensions routed down. I got the back one hooked up, and it's nice because they have these screw tabs that will actually screw into the tunnel plate so they don't hang down. The rear one on the driver's side I'm having a hard time getting to. I can't get a socket into that bolt that holds on this bracket to get to the pin to get the sensor off. I guess I need a thin wall socket to get that off, which I don't have. So I'm just gonna wing it and hope that I can get something up there to pry the pin off or pick the pin off to get the back O2 extension on, and try and get this thing, get these tucked in here so I can slide the headers up. So it's pretty funny. Everybody else in the world seems to have a problem with 10mm sockets. I got 10s in everything. I got all the 10s. But what I don't have is my 8mm. I always seem to be missing my 8mm deep socket. I probably have it up in the car somewhere for maybe when I did the center console last or something, but oh, I just realized I have a smaller one. All right, I can get it done with that one, but for some reason, my 8mm is like everybody else's 10mm. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bolts out of the tunnel to get the O2 extension up. Let's get some light. So I was able to get off the metal clip up there, pull the harness down, get the connection in, and we'll just bolt into two of these nuts here, or bolts, and we'll get the headers pushed through. All right, so I snuck the driver's side header in. I got some new ARP bolts to get these started. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass. I mean, the driver's side wasn't too bad to hold up. I just kind of let the header sit on one of the harnesses or the cross member, brought the lift back up so I can start bolts and the gasket from the top. These slid in decently easy on the driver's side. Just had to get around the, I just bent that bracket that I showed down on the bell housing a little bit. Once I did that, the header just slipped on by. Now the passenger side is going to be the harder one. That's the one I'm going to have to remove the dry sump lines. I'm going to try and slide it in from the top and see what it does. I think I'm probably going to have more success that way, but that's why I got that. And I got that yesterday because I knew I was probably going to have to drain the oil today. So with that, I'm going to change the oil in the vehicle as well. Let me see if I can finagle this driver or the passenger side in and go from there. All right. So sliding it in from up top did not work. Didn't even get close. This, I guess it's a power steering line got in the way. So I'm going to try and feed it up from the bottom and see what gets in the way. Most definitely those dry sump lines are going to get in the way, but let me try and feed this thing up. Man, this is so much easier being able to go up and down on the lift. So I had some concerns with the ARHs fitting properly. This side I have more than enough space with this lip, so that's good. And where's the O2 bung? All right, the O2 bung is going to be right up there. All right, so yeah, so far this is not too bad, but let me try and slide this side up. All right, yeah, so there's no way this thing is fitting up there without pulling the dry sump line. So I'm draining the oil now. Surprisingly, the oil is not puddling up inside this thing, so that's cool. I ordered a splash pad for it today. Anyway, I don't think it's going to be needed, but I ordered it because why not? So we're going to get the oil drain, pull those lines down. Those are 13mm bolts. There was 13mm bolt on the bracket here. And we'll pull those down, slide it up, and bing, bang, boom. Hopefully she goes up with no problems. I'll tell you what, best thing I could have done, second best thing I could have done for this garage was put a smart TV out here. So now I can listen to music easily. See, I'm bumping a little bit of Wu-Tang today because, you know, that's how I roll. I got the passenger side in. Right now, I have it resting on the dry sump lines. I just kind of started the threads in there just to hold up the headers. So that way now I can get everything in place, get the bolts in, get the gasket in. It wasn't the easiest to get it in. I had to do a little bit of shimmying and turning and finding the right angle of the dangle, as we like to call it. But I did get it in. So I gotta go get some ARP bolts from the other side of the garage, get the gaskets started, get them snugged, and then we'll start putting the X-pipe in. So, some things I figured out. I probably wish I would have got a bigger oil container. I got the 5-gallon with having almost 11 quarts of oil. That gets filled up pretty quick. So I thought I would need a 20-gallon. I'm kind of debating taking it back and getting a 20-gallon now. It's built a little bit better, and I think I'll have a metal thing funnel, but I digress. I don't know. The other thing, holy shit, I wish I would have bought a lift so many years ago. This is so much easier. I just go up, I go down, I go up, I go down, I go under, I go in, and I go out, and it's just done. So the header is up. Yeah, I might have to bend in these, what are these, power steering cooler lines a little bit. It's pretty much right on those lines. Otherwise, I didn't have any problems with this lip here. You can see this lip. This is usually what American Racing says you need to modify or clearance to get these headers in. That was not the case for me. Actually, yeah, it looks like it's just gonna fit. It's actually right on the heads right now, so it's probably just gonna fit. I may go back up and tighten that one up because I want to see what it's gonna fit like. I may have to move these lines in a little bit. I don't know how I'm gonna clearance those yet, but so far pretty decent, and we'll keep on trucking. All right, so I actually traced these back. They're not power steering lines. They actually go back to the transmission. So this is actually for my slave cylinder, and I don't know what the other one is for. Something back there, transcooler probably. Yeah, I'd buy it as a transcooler. So I need to proceed with a little bit of caution and figure out what I want to do there. I don't know if I'm going to try and bend those in a little bit, or if I'm just going to try and throw some heat tape on those. I don't have this header bolted up yet. I mean, I have it bolted up, but I don't have it tightened. There's a reason why I don't have it tightened, so I can do a little clearancing shit like this. So to get it really snug against the head, it's going to be pretty decently close to this, and it's going to be really close to that, if not right on it. So let me do a little bit of beep bop boop, and let me see if I can get it done. All right, so I bent and bent and bent and tried to bend and pry these lines to no avail. So what I did was I took this bracket that's on the bottom of the oil pan, and I bent that back to give just a little bit of clearance. Not a lot of clearance, but it's just a little bit of clearance. That should hopefully do the trick. And the header is fully tight right now. You got, you know, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I don't know how that's going to go with the motor mounts and the engine moving, but I guess we'll see how it goes. And I'll pull down this tab a little bit if there's a problem. This side's got more than enough space. This side a little bit tighter. So it's kind of tight. I'm going to see if I can get the X-pipe up by myself. Don't know how successful I'm going to be because my under hoist jack stand doesn't come until next week, and my son just left. But let me see what I can figure out. And this is what you do to get your mid-pipe on when you don't have a second set of hands and your pull jack doesn't come in yet. It is ghetto, but it works. And just gotta tighten up these clamps and hold it into place, and then we'll hang up the rear section of the mid-pipe. I was mostly able to shimmy this thing up in place. Thank God for these spring clip things. Those things work great to hold up the mid-pipe while you're shimmying it. This side I still have the headers loose, so I was able to shimmy that on a little bit easier. This side I'm going to go ahead and loosen it up at the head because I'm having a hard time just kind of swinging it into place. I did tighten it up obviously because of checking clearance, but now it's causing me an issue up top. So I'm going to go up top again loosen up the header a little bit, swing it, and see if I can get this thing back in. But so far, once I get everything adjusted, so far everything's looking pretty decent. Honestly, the headers were a hell of a lot easier than getting those pipes on the mufflers. Those were an absolute terror. I wanted to kill myself. But I'm doing good. It's a hell of a lot better than doing it on the floor. I'm going to keep on reminding you guys, if you don't have a lift and you can swing a lift, get a freaking lift. All right, like she always says, it's all about the angle of the dangle. So I was able to loosen up that header up top of the head, let it dangle a little bit. It was enough that I can pop the flange over top of the ball socket and get the bolt started. Got everything tightened up top, and we're looking good. We're just gonna get everything straightened up and aligned up here with this pipe. Again, everything's already started, so at this point it's smooth sailing. Got to tighten up my oil lines. You can see a little drip drop. I gotta retighten up my lines. I gotta make sure the O-rings are still on them. I didn't see them come off, so they should still be on, but let me double check before I go and put almost $100 worth of oil in this thing and find out that it's gonna leak all out. Get the drain bolts tightened, and we'll run to Walmart quick, get some oil, get her filled up, and I don't know, maybe I'll be driving it today. I got a little bit of things to do around the house. I gotta finish up the bathroom. I got probably like 6 or 8 more tiles to do, a little bit of baseboard. I gotta cut the grass, I gotta weed and feed. So I don't know if I'm gonna get it out today, but maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I'm gonna get this stuff tightened up. All right, boys, it's all done. All the clamps are tightened. I didn't really think these clamps out. I think I did them the wrong way, but I want them facing up so I don't scrape them on the street. But otherwise, things are looking good. I'm probably just gonna have to readjust the tips. I mean, honestly, these are the straightest these have ever been, honestly, since I've owned the car. I think I can go up on this bracket here and just tilt it a little bit. I may have to open up one of the clamps, but otherwise the tips are decently straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We'll get the car down after I get some oil in it, and take it out for a drive and see if it sounds any differently. All right, it's about a week later since I got the long tubes done. I've actually driven the car a couple times. It sounds exactly like I thought a Corvette should sound, except for the whole cam thing, or lack of cam thing. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a cold start. It's been sitting for about a week, and then I'll see if I can hook up a suction cup to the car. I'm gonna go out for lunch with the wife and see if I can get a little bit of cruising footage and let you guys hear it, but I am pretty happy with how it sounds. Let me give you guys that cold start that you're looking for. these roads too well that I'm on right now, or else I'd rip it a little bit, but I typically don't like the burble, but this burble sounds a little bit better than what it did in my GT500. My GT500, it was just stupid, and it would just pop and sound like gunshots, and it was real raspy because of it being a quad cam motor instead of a push rod motor. So this sounds a little bit better because it's a push rod. Ooh, I probably should have known where I was going because it's a little dicey. This is what it sounds like in the car. So until I really let it rip open, it's not super loud in the car, typical like Corsa is. Behind the car, people probably hate me, but you know, it kind of is what it is. Alright, so we'll do this with the windows shut now so you guys can actually hear me. So this is kind of what it sounds like in the car. It's, you know, very pleasant-ish. This is the first time I've had the windows closed since I put these in, but you know, I can hear myself think. I can talk. I had the wife in earlier. We were able to talk and communicate. So it's loud. It's just not obnoxiously loud in the car until I really rip on it with the windows open. And again, I have no idea what it sounds like behind me, but they're Corsas with long tubes, so I can only imagine they're ear piercing when I go full wide open throttle. But there it is, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Catch me back on the next one. I don't know what the next one's going to be yet. Probably won't be car stuff. I have a couple other videos I haven't edited for the car yet, but I don't know if I'm going to post them. They're just not really all that cool, to be honest. But we'll catch you guys on the next one, and we'll see you.